All right, so this is going to be a video where I'm pretty much going to just be yapping to all of you all, having that interpersonal video where I'm talking to all of you, mainly my Iranian football subscribers, my Iranian football fans that watch my videos, letting out all my thoughts because we are only days away from Iran's first match against New Zealand. And if you all remember, I did a video that will be very similar to this exact style before our match against Japan, where I just basically let out all my thoughts going into that match. Because in my opinion, for example, like with that Asian Cup, the first real match for Iran in that tournament was the match against Japan. That's where the tournament got real. That is where I expressed my thoughts leading up to this point for Iran ever since I started watching them, what that match meant to me. And I kind of want to do the same thing here going into this World Cup, because every single match for Iran is do or die. I think all the matches are important because we've never seen Iran advance from the group stages of a World Cup. Instead of doing like a usual preview going into this New Zealand match, where I might do previews for the matches against Belgium and Egypt, I just wanted to sit down with you all and just kind of talk about everything that has led up to this point for Iran going into this 2026 World Cup. All of my thoughts from when I started watching the Iranian national team all the way to now. Yeah, we're going to be going down memory lane and just kind of talking about Team Melli. But before we get started, boys and girls, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below if you enjoy this style video. You all enjoyed it the last time I did this, so I thought, why not? Let's run it back, do it again. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Make sure to subscribe. We're on the road now to 7,000 subscribers by the end of this World Cup, and this is going to be the channel to be watching content surrounding Asian national teams, and more specifically, the Iranian national team at the World Cup. It has been a long road. I mean, I've been covering Iran on my YouTube channel for like what, almost 4 years now. This channel really became a thing going into the 2022 World Cup, but I wasn't quite consistent or really took it super seriously. And it's crazy to think now this is gonna be my 4th World Cup watching Iran. My first one was 2014. That is when I started pretty much watching and following the national team. And as years went by, my knowledge and understanding and passion just kept on growing. 2018 by like a country mile was Iran's best World Cup. I don't care what anybody says. And it was truly cloud nine for all of us Iranian national team fans. And funnily enough, I like highly regretted not going to the 2018 World Cup. I was 18 at the time, and I just didn't get the opportunity to be able to go. I was like, you know what? I guess maybe I'll save up more money. It would have been a hard pinch to have gone to Russia, but my goodness, I quite regret that. That's probably one of the very few regrets. I don't have many regrets, was not going to the 2018 World Cup to go see Iran play. Obviously, fast forward 4 years later, I kind of got a lot more money. I saved up all the money from all the various part-time jobs I worked at from 16 all the way to that point, and I had enough to go to Qatar. I went by myself, and there was a lot of highs and lows. There was a lot of politics surrounding that World Cup, which was a big bummer, and we're seeing it yet again, and I'm going to talk about that. And I think it really deterred the team, sadly, because I thought at that point, I think we all thought at that point, Iran had like a golden plate opportunity to get out of the group stage. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, and it's sad because ever since the 2018 World Cup, it has just been downhill. And I remember once we got knocked out against Portugal, where we weren't able to win the game, Taremi missed that chance. So many of my friends are like, dude, Iran has such a bright future, this and that. But me being the not glass half full type Iranian as I am, I just thought, no, that was it. That was our chance. The football gods weren't with us. And, you know, we had a lot of Iranians go play in Europe at that time. That was definitely the peak of our powers, was 2018, 2019. We weren't even able to win that Asian Cup, getting battered by Japan. And it had just kind of been downhill after that. After Carlos Queiroz left in 2019, things have just not hit the same. We had that like little blimp with Queiroz, the Wales game, and that was fantastic, and that definitely reminded me of OG Iran, and I think that is the closest I'll ever get to that, and I'm glad I was able to attend the game and be a part of that, because that England game was so rough to watch, so miserable, I will say, to be at as my first Iran game, and then to, you know, hit the highs of the highs with the Wales game, and then to the USA game. I mean, it was just a sugar burnout, you could say, from the players to myself. It was just tough to not see Iran be able able to advance from that World Cup. And obviously we had the Asian Cup, yet again, oh so close. I was covering that one very rigorously. Like that's really when the consistency started to really grow on the channel. And yet again, we weren't able to do it. And here we are in the 2026 World Cup. Yet again, politics really surrounding the Iranian national team. Amir Khalenoui has been killing all of us inside for like the last 4 years, ever since he got hired. It's just been painful to a certain degree. I think definitely the peak moment was that Japan game. We all won't forget it, but it just really hasn't been that good for Iran. I've been so hypercritical of Khalenoui. So many of our big players, I mean, we barely have any players anymore playing in Europe, and it just sucks. It's so heartbreaking. So many players not reaching their potential. I think Azmoun is like the biggest figure for that. Bayer Leverkusen, Roma, and then Shabab Ahli. Insert them into the chat. Him now not going to the World Cup because of his political post. And I know that really sucks that Azmoun didn't get called up, because the reason why it sucks is because you see guys like Moghalu and Alipur, where Azmoun, yes, he's not the guy of old, is so much better than them. But if we're being realistic with ourselves, even Azmoun maybe didn't even deserve a call up if you just called up the right players. When we take a step back and really think about like hindsight, Azmoun doesn't play at a high level anymore. He's been injured almost the whole season. He's been so out of form. If you called up guys like Hossein Nejat, Saeed Manesh, I don't know, maybe even Kandipur, I think would have been so much better shouts, and I maybe would have been okay with the Azmoun not being included for the World Cup. But because you've called up absolute bums and bozos like Moghalu and Alipur, that's where it's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We're kind of dipping our toes in the water, but it's not fully immersed. That's my problem here, is because the call-ups were so questionable by Khalenoui. And obviously I did a video talking about it, but that's the thing that worries me. I'm just so scared going into this World Cup for so many reasons. Khalenoui has shown us, to the people that are outsiders looking in, it has been so frustrating watching how this team has played. Like, we barely beat in teams like North Korea and Kyrgyzstan. They've scored multiple goals on us. I'm worried about when we play against Belgium, when if Egypt have their attack firing on all cylinders, Salah, Marmoush, Khalizad and Kanani are going to get cooked. And there's been such a clear digression for this national team, and Khalenoui has kind of played a part in it. But even still, with all of that, Iran still have a chance in this World Cup. And it sucks because of all the politics for Iran going into this. And I think that plays a huge factor. Like 2018, I think everybody was together. Everybody was rooting for Iran. And I think the players fed off that. 2022, such a disjointed spectrum from fans. Fans rooting against them. And what difference, I'll say this, what difference does it make if Iran wins in this World Cup or loses in this World Cup? It doesn't change anything politically. And I think so many people can't wrap their heads around it. I understand that there is like a 10% pool of these players that are pro-government, but like an 80 to 90% group of these players have shown, like in the England game, for example, on a huge stage, in varying other factors with posts, wearing wristbands, not celebrating goals for their club teams, are for the people. They're just normal dudes. But it's funny that guys like Torabi, those type of guys, the ones that I don't even want to see on the national team, are so pro-government and ruins it for the rest of the team that people are like, oh, this is Team Mullah, this is the regime's team, this isn't our team. And it's fine. I'm not here to convince people otherwise. I mean, I've had a few interactions with the players, and they're just like us. They are football fans. They are Iranians trying to chase their dreams. My issue is there is going to be a group of people, because I saw it at the 2022 World Cup, that are going to pay good money to go and root against Iran. People would love to be in those positions to go see Iran play, to see their favorite players of all time, the Taramis, Jahanbakhsh, play in a World Cup. But you decide to pay good money for tickets to go root against them? I don't care if you don't want to root for them, if you don't think this is your team, but to go out and boo them, chant rude things to them, I just don't get that. Our fans gonna be rooting against them, because I know it's gonna be tough for the players that way. And in a sense too, the players might be used to it. They might be able to block it out because they've been there and done that. And that's so sad to say. And on top of that, another level to it is Amir Khalenoui. Is he gonna like start a guy like Moghalu in the game against New Zealand? Is he gonna butcher the lineup? Is he gonna play players that shouldn't be playing? There's just so many hurdles that this national team are gonna have to jump over just to get out of the group. group. And for us fans, that's us winning the World Cup if we get out of this group because of all these hurdles, all these issues, the politics, the head coach, some of the players, because some of them are just not good enough. So many things. And that's just what scares me because I would love to see Iran, you know, David and Goliath type moment. Because the reason I decided to support the Iranian national team is because I've always felt Iran were underdogs. I could have so easily just been a USA fan because there's so many people that just opt to root for the US even though they come from like whatever their family's nationality is from. But for some reason, for me, I'm the crazy guy. I chose to just go with Iran. I just always felt Iran, they always got dealt a bad hand. And I just rooted for that. I felt they were true underdogs in this footballing world. And I felt like I gravitated so much more to that. I felt like the national team, these players, my passion for this helped me stay connected with my culture. I think there's so much other beauty to Iran, but for me, the football always drove me closer and closer and kept me in touch with that. I just always have wanted to see Iran do well in an Asian Cup, a World Cup, because I still believe it to this day. Football breaks political barriers. People will not see Iran, if they make a dark horse run, win an Asian Cup, as this like horrible country because of what the government has done. You don't see 11 players as their governments. You see them as footballers. And I've always wanted to see Iran prove all of these things wrong because it's so challenging for these guys. It's so difficult. We can't get normal friendlies because of politics, because of our federation. It's so difficult to go watch Iran play a game anymore. And I don't know why I've been so driven and would die on a hill for this national team, but I just have. I don't know why. And that's why I'm so nervous about this World Cup, because I don't know how many more golden Willy Wonka tickets we're gonna get at a World Cup. But this one's probably the most golden one we've ever gotten. The footballing gods are like, you know what, Iran? You've been dealt a lot of bad hands. Here you go. I'll give you guys a final shot. And with these group of players, it's like their last hurrah. This is the true Unk squad, which I don't love, but you know, the one thing we can say for Iran going into this World Cup is they have experience. They're one of the only two national teams in this group that actually has a World Cup win. New Zealand and Egypt don't. And they could do really well, but at the same time, they could absolutely lay an egg. Like in the 2006 World Cup, they didn't even win a single game. They finished bottom of their group below the likes of Angola. Like that's what scares me. I would hate for Iran to just do bad because for me personally, I'm not like a player on the team, but I would feel embarrassed. So many of my friends, my followers that are football fans, they're not even Iranian national team fans. They, in a sense, root for Iran because of me. They see my passion. They see my posts. Everybody that knows me knows I love the Iranian national team. I love Iranian football and I want to see them do well. I'm so passionate about that. And that's why this first game against New Zealand has to be a win. I'm just like how my mom was when I was growing up, going to school. So cutthroat. She had such high expectations for me, and anything less, oof, well, that's a whole other story in itself. But we have to go out and win this game against New Zealand. I want us to put up some prideful performances like in the 2018 World Cup. It's hard not to be a nostalgia merchant and to try to, like, you know, claw for what we experienced in 2018. And I don't think we will, but it might be a different type of story. But just to show that drive, passion. I know there's so many obstacles for Iran that they have to hurdle, from all these political issues, the visas, this, Amir Qalanoui just being an absolute numpty. To be able to prevail, to play well at this World Cup, I think would be so honorable. And it won't even be mentioned. Most mainstream media won't even talk about it. I mean, most mainstream media doesn't even talk about Iran whatsoever if it's not in a political eye. It's crazy that the whole talk about Iran from most media is just been politics, that, politics, this. Not about like the players whatsoever. It's just politics, politics, politics. I mean, I was even on CNN to talk about the politics. I wasn't even able to talk about my Razaginia propaganda. None of that. It's all just been politics. And I think that's what sucks. And that's why I feel like this is a true David and Goliath type situation right now for Iran. They could really become heroes. And a lot of just the Iranian fans that just, they know, like they understand all the hardship that this team is going to have to deal with and is dealing with going into this World Cup. And my only message to Amir Qalanoui, to this team, I know I've said a lot of things about, you know, you, Amir Qalanoui, and maybe you've watched a video or maybe you never have. I don't know. I doubt it, but who knows? And to these players, just go out there. I don't care who it is. Give it your all and make history at this World Cup. That's all I'm asking for. I'm going to back every single one of you. Going to be rooting for you, crying, jumping for joy, because that's just how it is every time I watch Iran play in a major tournament. That's just how passionate I am about this. All right, one thing I forgot to mention during this recording was what my content plans were gonna be for the matches, because I know all of you have been asking me about it across social media, like, Shan, what's your game plan for these games? And I completely forgot to talk about it in the video, but in post-productions, I'm gonna quickly add this bit in. For the matches against New Zealand and Belgium, unlike my traditional post-match video reactions thoughts, I've decided why not go live after those two games, because I felt like it would be a lot more fun being able to engage with you all after the match concludes, give you all my live thoughts and reactions. So the lives are already set for those two games. If you just click the link down in the description or up in the annotations, it will send you right to those lives, and all you guys have to do is just click notify me so you don't miss it when I'm live after the games. But just for a rule of thumb, they will start around 15 to 30 minutes once the match concludes. But for the match against Egypt, I won't be able to go live for that game, as I will be going to that match. So for that game, I would recommend you all to follow me on Instagram, as I'll be posting my entire journey experience at the game. I know it's a lot of information, but just click notify me on the two live streams post-match for New Zealand and Belgium, and then just follow me on Instagram. I thought this was going to be something a little bit better to do as like a preview talk sesh, you know, us conversating about our feelings, emotions going into this World Cup. I thought was a little bit more fun. But as I always say at the end of every single video, boys and girls, my opinion only matters so much. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Let it off your chest. What is your guys' thoughts? What are your emotions as Iranian national team fans, as neutral fans, or just fans of my content going into this World Cup? Let me know your thoughts. Drop a like, subscribe, because we're on the road to 7,000 subscribers by the end of this World Cup. And if you guys enjoyed this video, I have so many other amazing videos on my channel. So click over here, as the YouTube algorithm specifically recommended this video for you all to watch next. And click over here, as I post content weekly on the channel. You don't want to miss it. But boys and girls, I hope you'll have a lovely day.